Hello and welcome back to another true crime tarot reading. Give me a minute, I'm going to apologize up front for any loud background noise. I have a 9-month-old Pug Malinois mix puppy and she is a bit crazy. But let's get into our cards. And today is a new test on a new filming setup. We've got our Whispers of the Unsolved here. And so this is a test. This is going to be loosey-goosey. And what's really cool about this setup is I could live stream from it if I wanted. My long-term goal is to get a dog cam, so you can see the dog and all the stuff she's doing. So, I want to do 2 reading updates for you guys tonight. And then I want to tell you about my plans of what I plan to do going forward. But let's do my reading updates tonight. First reading I want to do an update on is John O'Keefe and the Karen Reed trial conclusion. The next reading update I want to do on is the Idaho 4 and that trial conclusion, because I have thoughts on that one, but we'll get there. Well, we are doing this sage free, so I'm going to take a second and I'm going to take some deep breaths, tune everything out, and clue in on John's energy. So John O'Keefe, if you are willing to step forward and speak to us tonight, we would greatly appreciate that. Just get your thoughts on the conclusion and anything else that needs to be spoken on. So, I'm going to start with the Tarot of the Haunted House, and I'm going to ask for a signifier this is all the characters. Because this is Karen, the Queen of Swords, because she was, after everything I've heard in all the post-trial interviews, Karen really led this team and led her defense, and the lawyers have said it, they proved her innocence, and so John is recognizing that. This is his definition of John. 3 of Wands. God, it's been so long since I've read. But, High Priestess. King of Swords. Knight of Wands. 5 of Cups. Ace of Wands. 2 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. It was a challenge for her to draw in all the other parties to really point the finger at them, because they're the ones that are guilty in this, and you'll see this as we go through it. But it was up to her to kind of figure out what was happening in the dark. And she trusted her gut. She trusted her intuition and probably signs that she was getting from John that the other side was playing incredibly dirty. Hank Brennan was dirty. Adam Lally was dirty. Michael Proctor was dirty. Every single person in power in this case and investigation was dirty and was playing a dark game, and so she had to match that energy, and we saw that in trial too. It was a slaughter, and you can see that, everything happened so quickly, and if you followed the trials, you would have seen that. You would have seen that it was nonstop all the way through. The drama in the tea was insane. Everything about this trial was unprecedented, and you see that here with this Knight of Wands. Then we had the Five of Cups. There was also a bunch of gossip and rumors and, again, more dirty tactics from this other side. There was a lot of rumors, a lot of gossip, a lot of distractions, a lot of look over here, don't pay attention to what's going on over here. But those distractions, every single distraction that Hank Brennan tried to make, Karen turned into an opportunity. Like, she was not waiting for someone on the prosecution side to see the error of their ways. She clapped back every single time, and it was a sight to behold. And I'm really proud of the results of this trial. This Two of Pentacles is very interesting, because she fulfilled her part of this karmic contract, but there's still a whole nother side to this that just started, which is the McAlbert fallout. And you see this with this Ten of Pentacles here, because while Karen's karmic contract has come to an end with her acquittal of the charges and of John's death, like, it is now starting a whole new legacy problem for the McAlberts. And I want clarification. I'm going to pick this first hat up. I want clarification on one thing, John, and then I'll let you go, and I want to go into my next reading because, like I said, quick update. Was the 227 deleted verdict a sign that someone needs to look at the 227 deleted Google search again? Like, is that going to make the case? We're going to draw from the middle of the deck. Party celebration. Yes. Yeah. John's like, yeah, exactly. Are you kidding? That was the whole point of that. Yeah, no. Like, that was him confirming everything. So that's all I'm going to read on right now for the Karen Reed acquittal. This is John's thoughts, and he laid out exactly what happened, and who am I to argue? So thank you. You are released. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I hope you can spend some time relaxing a little bit, resting in peace. Next, I want to do a quick reading on the Idaho 4 case. I want to call in the 4 victims and get their take on the case's current resolution. So, we're going to start with asking for a signifier for Ethan. And we got the Moon. I want a signifier for Xana. We got the Star. They seem to be pairing with each other very nicely. And a signifier for Maddie. And a signifier for Kaylee. So for Ethan, we got the Moon. And this is, I think, a combination of lies yet to be exposed, truth coming out, but I've also been getting a lot of feeling and energy from Ethan where he's kind of feeling abandoned and alone, but at the same time, he's also not alone because he has Xana with him. So, like, even just this pairing of the Moon and the Star together, you can see how, like, they're isolated, but at least they're together. And so, I do think him and Xana's bond is probably stronger than ever now in the afterlife. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way that his family has reacted to his passing and the situation. Xana here is giving off hope. Hope for the future, but also I think hope for all of the truth to come out. I don't think she's someone who wants this swept under the rug, whatever the truth may be, whether that's, Bryan did this, or other people were involved, or other people weren't. Like, I think she's feeling like, yes, we got Bryan's confession technically because he is admitting guilt, but like, he actually hasn't detailed anything, and I don't expect him to. I don't think he's going to. Some might say because he doesn't know what happened. I don't think that's 100% true, but there's definitely more here than what meets the eye, and I think that's still at play. I think we're seeing that because we have Maddie here with the King of Cups. I think she is trying to stay level-headed with all of the emotions that are going on in this case, because the families, the victim families, have a lot of opinions. Some taking that feeling out on Bryan, and some just trying to find some way to move on. And then we've got Kaylee here with the sun, which is an interesting dichotomy to the moon. But also she's also here kind of like looking for hope, looking for things to move on, and maybe for people to not ask so many questions. But we've got the Whispers of the Unsolved here. And so I'm going to use this half for these guys, and I'm going to use this half for these guys. So, what do you two want to add to this situation? We just got a whole bunch spill out. First, we got partner and spouse. Immediately came to my mind that they're together. That's kind of that seems to be the message from them, is like, no matter what happens here down on Earth, they almost kind of don't care. And if I'm being honest, I don't blame them. They've already filled their karmic contract in this situation. There's really not much more for them to do. And like I said, they're together, so like nothing else really matters. Outer space, paper trail, frozen and preserved. So this is everything I was just saying. Like, hope that truth is going to come out because everything is preserved in the paper trail. And we're seeing that with the document drops. So, there's still a lot going on here. Outside of the court proceedings of this case, I think this is where this outer space is, because it's not just the space that everybody's defining as, it's the world as a whole. And even if Bryan is going to jail, there's other things still going on, and all of that stuff has been preserved. So now over here, what would you two like to add to this case, to the situation? Whatever you think the audience needs to know, your family needs to know, investigators need to know. Travel. Is that telling other people, or whoo? So we have travel, assassination, murder for hire, plot twist, low vibrational, friend, optical illusion. Keep an eye on people who have been traveling or have moved away and have gotten away from the Idaho area, people who are putting distance between themselves and the murders. I've had them say this before, and I've always fully believed it. Whatever happened here was not like a incel petty revenge, she rejected me so I'm gonna kill her and her roommates sort of murder that they've made Bryan Kohberger out to be. Whatever happened here was planned. That's the plot twist, because nobody seems to understand that. I mean, there are people who do, but not enough people. And the plot twist is a low vibrational friend is lying. And I've shared my opinions on this before. I don't know how much I've shared it on this channel, but I still have a lot of questions for Dylan and Bethany. Dylan specifically. And right now those questions aren't being answered, but I do believe with time and the paper trail that has been frozen, we will get those answers. So those are my 2 quick updates on John O'Keefe and Idaho 4. Coming up next, readings I want to do. I want to redo Delphi. I have questions. I've learned a whole bunch more now that trial happened and Richard Allen has been deemed guilty. That one has a bunch of questions too that I don't think is quite as clear. But I want to redo Delphi. I want to redo JonBenet because I've learned some stuff. That's a wild case. And I think I have some validation with what I've learned that confirms some things I did in my first reading. So I want to brush up on that and see if we can get more information out on that. And then after that, I may take another look at Madeleine McCann, just because I've done that one before. I'm not going to do anything more with Scott and Lacey Peterson. I don't believe Scott's innocent. I don't think we're going to find out anything more. I don't think anybody else was involved. I do think Scott had some help, possibly. Or someone at least knew what was going on, but I don't think that's going to change anything. I might dive into some more recent cases or some things that people have been covering, but I don't have any big plans for that. I am going to kind of play it by ear, but those were the ones that were on the top of my head that I really wanted to address. So those are my plans for the immediate future, and keep an eye out for that. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on anything I do on the future. Thank you. We'll see you next time.